So I'm back with part 2 of how to make a magazine journal, and this time we're going to focus on doing the covers. And so to get started, I'll show you the supplies that you're going to need. Of course, you're going to need your magazine that's prepped. So you've put the Tyvek or some packing tape or something like that along the spine here. And then these are things that I use, and if you have a substitute, something you like better, feel free to use those. You're going to need some double-sided tape. I like to use the score tape, and so you'll need that. You'll need some glue. I like to use this Fast Grab, the Aleene's Fast Grab tacky glue. Also, just the tacky glue of hers works great. And even I use this sometimes, the Paper Source bookbinding and Paper Arts. I use that also. Then when we get a little closer to finishing this, let me start again. So you also need a ruler or a tape measure so that you can measure your cover, and scissors or a paper trimmer. And once we get the covers on, then you'll need a matte medium of some type, either Mod Podge. This is the matte, and then this is paper Mod Podge. I really haven't found a difference between the two of them, but either one of these will work great. And also, I'm a fan of Liquitex, this gloss medium and varnish. I will probably put this on the cover. I use it as my final coat. So something like that, or even Mod Podge, you could put that over as your final over the cover. And then the finishing wax. This is what I use to give it a really smooth and glossy finish. You're also going to need something soft to just make sure your covers adhere down. I have an old t-shirt that I use to make sure that my images are down. You're also going to need cardstock, and I use 65-pound cardstock, so 8.5 by 11 works fine in this case, so whatever color you want is your base. And then you're also going to need something to go on your cardstock, an image of some kind, whatever you want there, and whatever you'd like to put on the back and also on the spine. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to first measure our cover and see how big we need to make it. And so in this case, it's 8 3/8, and I go right to the edge on this. 8 3/8 by, it's not quite 10.5. I'm going to cut it to 10.5, and if I have to trim it a bit, I'll go ahead and do that. So when I was thinking about making this cover, I was trying to decide what I was going to use this for. And I decided that I'm going to use it as an art journal. And not so much for wet medium, but more for glue medium. I have lots and lots of graphics that are really too big for my weekly journal, my weekly spreads. The images are too large. And I really want a place to put them. And I thought this is the place. So I pulled out some of those images that I really liked and I thought I'd want on the cover. And this one I always thought I was going to end up putting on the cover. Let me put this down. I always thought this would go on the cover of my magazine at one point. But I kept looking, and I had a couple of other choices. I had this one that I haven't trimmed out yet that I thought might be really good, especially if I use just maybe half of it, or maybe half even this way. Either way, but something like that. I liked this one a lot. Now this one would be more for the bottom, and then I'd have to put stuff up there. So that was another choice. And I had this, which was half a mirror, and I thought this one could be really interesting too, if I use that like that somehow. And then I had this one. And this is the one I ended up settling on. I don't know why, just something about this picture I love. And these I figure I will use, inside, especially this one. I'll use it inside my journal. So once I picked my image, then I had to decide how I wanted my background. What did I want on my background? And in this case, I thought I'll use some of my jelly prints because I've got a lot of jelly prints that I did. And so then it became a matter of deciding what color. So my initial thought was orange because being a complementary color to the blue, I thought, well, that might not look too bad. So I tried that, and I tried that, and I liked these fine. There was no problem with those. So I thought I'd use, one on the front and one on the back. And then I had these, and I ended up really liking that, probably because I like those colors so much. And then I thought, well, I'll put one of these or one of these, this one or this one, couldn't decide, on the back. So I still haven't totally decided what's going to go on the back, but I think I'll use this one on the front. So once you make those hard decisions, and you have to decide what you're going to do for your background, like this. So you're going to use white or black. So I put this on white because you're going to have a small border all the way around just because of the size of the magazine. And the white looked okay, it kind of just blended and went away. And then I decided I would try black and see how that looks against with the jelly print. Again, you're going to have a small border and like that. So if you can kind of imagine that. And it looks okay too. So I do think I'm going to go with the white, but we'll see. And then you have to decide what you're going to do for your spine. As I did in this one, I have right here is where my spine starts, my piece, and then I roll it over to the back about that far. And I really like the way that works. It gives it sufficient support, and as opposed to just going like right here, it gives it a lot of support, and I don't have to worry about it popping up in any way. So I'm going to do that again. And so I was trying to decide on the paper, and I was pretty sure I wanted some kind of black. And so let me just sort of build this for you here if you can kind of get an idea. Something along those lines. And then, like I said, I knew I wanted some black. So I started with a stripe. You could go this way, or you could go this way. And keep in mind, you're going to have just that little bit that's going to show on the front and then roll to the back. That was okay. And then I tried this one. Again, words. I didn't really like that one at all, so I discarded that. And then I found this. And I really liked this. It gave me just enough pattern. And I think that's going to work out great. So that's what I'm going to go with. So I'm going to cut my papers, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, I've got my papers cut to size, so you can see the white fits on there nicely. And then I also cut down my jelly prints. Now I did these on 65-pound cardstock, the same as this. So it ends up being a double layer, which is fine. It makes it, a really sturdy cover, so you won't have to worry about it, coming apart on you. So the next thing that I do is we're going to apply the double-sided tape. And so let me just do the first one for you here. And it's really very simple. All I'm really going to do is go around the outside edges, because that's the easiest way to get it to stick to your cover. And then I will also use some glue. So I just start at the very top here. And I use a credit card and just pull it like that. Gives you a super clean, makes it easier, a little bit easier than scissors. And this is 1/2 inch wide score tape. And I do not worry about going over the edge over the other score tape. That just gives you a little more stick in the corners. You just have to beware when you take off your piece how it's going to work. Okay, and one last one. Sorry if this is moving a little bit. Try and stop it here. I keep hitting it. Okay, and then on there like that. as close to the edge as you can. And then you want to burnish it well. And you can use just the card that you had before. If you have a bone folder, something, you can use that too. It doesn't, just make sure you have it down there really well. Okay, so there you go. You can see it's in all four corners. Now the next thing that we're going to do is glue it down. I would do this for the back side as well, but we'll go ahead and just do the front for now. So what I do is when I take off the tape, I'm actually going to put glue on here because that helps you to reposition this if you need to pull it up. If you've used score tape before, you know when it sticks, it sticks. So you really want to make sure that you have a little bit of wiggle room if necessary. So go ahead and just pull these off. And in cases like this where there's double tape, just pull it gently and it will lay down. Okay. I guess you could use a sharp tool to help get that off. See, I have a piece of it stuck there. That is going to be a little difficult to get off. There we go. I think I can get it here. Yeah. And then just lay down your tape again if that happens. Again, pull it gently. There you go. And then on this one, just pull it away. And it'll lay down. Okay. And I just make sure that I've got nothing sticking over the edge. If you do, just roll it to the other side, like that. Okay, so I'm going to use the Fast Grab Tacky Glue. Okay, this stuff is super thick too. See, I just sort of spread it with the tip. Go along that. So again, this is just to give you a little extra something to hold it down in place and also give you some wiggle room. And then I just move it like this to get some in the center. And the reason I don't use tape all over this is because I have found that when I go and put the Mod Podge over it, it sometimes shows the lines here and here and here, depending on how thick your paper is. Probably in this case, because I'm using cardstock, it'd be okay. But, okay, so you see I'm not using a ton. I'm using enough to get it spread. And then I'm going to put it on my cover. Now what I do is put something underneath this so I can see the edges. And this black cardstock works really well so that I can see the edges of the magazine. And then you hold your breath and put it down. And so I start at this edge and make sure that I have that and that. And then I kind of just roll it down. Okay, now remember this is just your base too, so you're going to have something else over it. And again, I would take my cloth and just make sure that everything appears to be down. Just like that. Now you can see I didn't get quite to the edge, but that'll be okay because I'll probably put something there, or I can even just trim that off if necessary. Okay. That looks pretty good. So now I'm going to put this image on, or this jelly plate, and I can do the same thing on this if I want. I'm trying to decide, do I want to, I think I will put double-sided tape on this piece and then some glue. So I'll go ahead and do that now and I'll be back.